and welcome back to Inside a Teen's Mind, episode 4. This is Little I, or LI for short, and thanks for coming back. This is the last episode for October, and the next time we meet is November. Wow, that's really fast. And Halloween is coming up. I wonder if you guys have any plans for Halloween. This year, I actually have a day off on the 31st, just because of my school's schedule, so I don't think everyone is the same. But hey, I want that day off. And I'm pretty sure my family and I are going to go trick-or-treating, but I don't think I have my costume ready yet. Maybe I should start thinking about it. Alright, enough of the talking about Halloween, because not everyone celebrates it. Let's refresh what we talked about last time. In my last episode, we had our first monthly chat, and I talked about the book Counseling for Toads, a psychological adventure, and a little background story about me and my podcast. I also brought up the fact that I like to listen to this Taiwanese couple's podcast while I do chores and going to sleep. And I wonder if anyone else does the same thing. I know a lot of people who listens to music when they do their homework, while they work, commuting, on the car, cleaning the house, on and on. Now, a question that goes along with that is, can people actually multitask? First of all, what does multitask mean? Multitasking basically means doing more than one thing at a time, or switching from one task to another. Now, with that in mind, can people concentrate with background noise, or do they get distracted? To begin, we first need to know what is going on in your brain when you multitask. When you are paying attention and concentrating on something, a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex begins to work. The prefrontal cortex is located at the front of your frontal lobe, which is basically saying it is behind your forehead. The most important function that you guys need to know here is that it is critical for attention and organizing complex tasks. So you can just remember that this area helps you to keep your attention on a task and perform the task by coordinating with other parts of the brain. When you're only working on one task, both sides of your prefrontal cortex work together to achieve it. But adding another task forces your brain to split its attention in two. Different areas of the brain are now working on different tasks, which is why switching back and forth can make you feel tired, leading to more mistakes. For example, let's say I'm driving. Right now, both sides of my prefrontal cortex are focusing on the task driving. Suddenly, I get a phone call. I take my eyes off the road, which I should be looking at, and glances at my phone, taking my hand off the steering wheel to answer it. Now, one part of my brain has to focus on driving, while the other part is focusing on the phone. Now, this is only an example, and in all caps, do not have your phone out or be on it when you're driving. Here's another example. I am doing my homework. In the beginning, I concentrated fully on it. Later on, I put on some music on the radio, distracting my brain, trying to remember the lyrics while doing the homework at the same time. One side of the brain now has to focus on homework and the other on the music. I think that's enough examples, you get the point, but there are some differences as to what tasks you are multitasking on. For easy tasks like walking or eating, multitasking would be easier because these are the tasks that you perform every day and they demand less attention from the prefrontal cortex, or to put in simple words, less brain power, which will also mean easier to switch between tasks. When you are doing more complicated tasks like driving or cooking, it requires more concentration and brain power, which makes it harder to switch between tasks. Cognitive psychologists, which are the ones that study the mental and brain process, discovered that our mind and brain were not designed for multitasking, especially the hard ones. Now, that doesn't mean you can't multitask, because some people do multitask effectively. According to studies, about 2% of people can do so, which that's not a lot of people. So for the most part, switching between tasks is not only inefficient, it slows down the process, increases the chance of making errors, and requires more brain power. I used to listen to music while I do work, like homework, but my teacher once said that your brain cannot function like that, and you think it is because it makes you more entertained while doing the task. What she meant by that is you think it is helping you because that makes your work seem less boring. We can apply that to some real life examples, like I listen to music while doing homework, or you listen to the radio while you drive, or you watch a video while you cook. Those are all examples. Does that mean you shouldn't do those things? I think not necessarily. It is based on your personal preference. However, you need to be aware of the result of multitasking. Soft music like piano, classical, lyricless songs, and keeping the volume low are recommended when performing tasks like studying. The effects of background music depends on you. While for some it can be a distraction, it could also be more enjoyable. But back to what I've said, it might hinder your productivity. Now, moving away from listening to music while doing work, I said in the previous episode that I listen to podcasts while I am trying to go to sleep. So does that help you fall asleep faster? There are some controversies from both sides. According to the Sleep Foundation, they emphasize the important key from playing music before bed. They state that it may decrease the time that you take to fall asleep and improve sleep quality, decrease your stress hormone, trigger the release of dopamine, and if you're going to listen to music, keep it to music that is relaxing or slower. This article also uses an example that you might have experienced before. If your parents sing or play lullabies and gentle songs to help babies fall asleep. If you are a parent, have you ever done that to your kids? If you are not a parent, do you remember a time when an adult puts on lullabies to help you sleep? Research has shown that people from all ages do sleep better after listening to soft melodies. This passage also states that putting on this music can help with your sleep quality when you incorporate the music into your nightly routine. Besides that, they found out that with music, it can reduce the time it takes to fall asleep. In their experiment, participants took about from 27 to 69 minutes to fall asleep without music. After adding music, it only took them about 6 to 13 minutes. I would discuss more about sleep and what is going on in your brain in my future episodes when I talk about dreams. If you are interested to know more about stress hormones and dopamine, I will also have episodes on that. Now, from another article titled, "Is Listening to Music Better Than Sleeping Pills?" from UC Davis, the author quoted from Jesse Koski from the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences. According to Jesse Koski, music is a low-cost, accessible, and effective treatment for insomnia, and the only side effect he came across was the earthworm effect, where a song gets stuck in your head. Now, a little background info in case you don't know what insomnia is. Insomnia is problems or disruptions that make it hard to fall asleep and hard to stay asleep. Based on the UC Davis article, they found that in 2023, about 30 to 40% of adults experienced insomnia at some point. He also mentioned the earthworm effect, which, like he said, is when you have a song stuck in your brain. Now, back to how music affects your brain while falling asleep. Koski proposed the idea that slow tempo songs are believed to produce an entertainment effect, which is when your body synchronizes with your environment, which can happen with music. When you listen to music with about 60 beats per minute, it can lead to a slower and calmer heart rate because 60 BPM is about the same as a relaxed heart. Besides slowing down your heartbeat, experiments show that relaxing music can also reduce blood pressure for some listeners. Of course, the music you listen to may not be a 60 BPM one, but other music genres like pop or R&B also works fine. Listening to podcasts while falling asleep works similarly, but make sure the topic of the podcast is not too exciting or activates your brain. Try to choose something that doesn't require a lot of your attention, have unexpected noises or volume, etc. Some examples of this could include meditation podcast, storytelling podcast, or sleep podcast. My dad, for example, listens to audiobooks when he goes to sleep. Some people might listen to white noise, which is a noise that includes all frequencies across the spectrum of audible sound. This simply means white noise is a blend of all pitches or frequencies of sound the human ear can hear. Listening to white noise while trying to go to sleep received mixed beliefs, where some believe it benefits, some believe it harms your sleep quality. According to an article under Harvard Health publication, it quoted from Dr. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Sogol Javahari, who is an assistant professor at Harvard Medical School and physician in Division of Sleep and Circadian Rhythm Disorders at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. He stated that studies show white noise may reduce infants and children's heart rates and respiratory rates, soothing them to go to sleep. But another review published in Sleep Medicine Reviews found white noise has little positive effect on sleep. Furthermore, according to Dr. Javahari, white noise may interrupt stages of sleep and damage hearing if it's too loud. In the article, they also recommend moving your white noise machine to a corner of your bedroom if you have one. This helps to keep the volume low while it is still in the background. To add on, if there is a timer on the machine, it is recommended to play it only as you fall asleep rather than leaving it on for the whole night. The paragraph also suggests pink noise and brown noise, which will improve your sleeping quality. Pink noise has lower frequencies than white noise, which makes it sound deeper. Rain, rainfall, leaves, or ocean waves are some examples of pink noise. Some research shows that pink noise can facilitate deep sleep in elders and improve their cognitive performance. In addition, it may also decrease the time required to fall asleep. Last but not least, brown noise. Brown noise has even lower frequencies than pink noise, which may make it seem rougher, like crashing ocean waves, while pink noise is just gentle rain. Many people think brown noise could be a deeper and calmer sound to listen to, which helps them feel calm and relaxing, while it covers the disruptive background noise. Here is an example of what pink noise and brown noise would sound like. According to Dr. Javahari, he says that there needs to be more data to fully understand how pink and brown noise affect your sleep, but for now, he would not recommend either of them constantly, but you could use them for a period of time if it does help you fall asleep faster. So maybe tonight you want to look up some of these noises and do a little experiment on which one you think is best for you. Or maybe search a playlist that you can listen to while you go to sleep. Maybe you're the kind of person who doesn't like to listen to anything while you sleep, but I think the main point is our brains are limited. And I feel like the world wants us to do 10 things at a time. Listening to music while doing homework, paying attention to the surroundings, replying to text, all that at the same time. You might think that is productive, but at the end of the day, your brain has to switch back and forth between tasks, which is tiring. That's why sometimes you feel like you've not done much, but you're already so tired. For example, and this actually just happened to me last week, during the weekends, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to do this and that at the same time. At the end, I did get the things done, but I was exhausted. When it's finally nighttime, your brain needs to relax and your prefrontal cortex, who was working all day, needs to rest so your brain can charge. Although music, podcast, and white noises can help, the thing is it creates a routine that signals your brain it is time to rest. Try putting on the same playlist before you go to bed, or writing a page of diary and get into the habit of doing it every day. At the end, it will become a routine, and in the future, whenever you start the routine, your brain knows that it is time to slow down and get ready to sleep. At the end of the day, we can say that multitasking is like opening too many apps all at once on your phone. Your phone would start to lag and it slows down the process. The brain works about the same way, so instead of multitasking all day, take a moment for your brain to actually relax. Through a long period of time, you might notice you are able to concentrate better and longer, your mood improves, and you can fall asleep deeper. So the next time you are doing work, ask yourself, do I really need the music? Or am I just trying to make it feel less boring? And here's a little experiment you can do today. Before you go to sleep, try putting on a sound that may help you relax, whether that's piano, white noises, rainfall, your favorite podcast, anything. Try different ones every day and see which one works best for you and improves your sleeping quality. Everyone's brain works differently, and that's the cool thing about psychology. It helps us understand those differences. Alright, before we end today's episode, I want to remind everyone that you can now listen to the full episodes of my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Podbean. I also have many highlights of the episodes on Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit. You may also check out my official website and my visual website for transcriptions and more information. So those are the ways you can find me on the internet, and the links are down below. By the way, for the people who are interested in psychology, I created an online psychology club on Instagram called PsychSpot. If you would like to learn more about psychology and meet people who have the same interest as you, I encourage you to join. And for more information about the club, you can check out PsychSpot's Instagram, TikTok, and websites, which would all be linked down below. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like or follow and share with other people. I hope you guys have a great week, and thank you for being with me here today at Inside a Teen's Mind. Stay tuned for my next episode, and I hope you join me with my next Real Talk from a Real Teen's Mind. Bye!